How do? So when I started in the private sector, Forest Bank Prison, it had no VP wing. VP wing, vulnerable prisoners, you know, them wrong-uns that like kids and harm women. You know what I'm saying. So when prisoners come in who were of that nature, they were told to make up a story. Some ended up in the segregation unit, which is no place for them. We had a whole host of monsters in the segregation. There was one lad towards the end of my career at Forest Bank, ended up on F wing. I had no clue who he was. When prisoners used to come on the whim, you'd relocate them and that was it. If you got to know them well, wing cleaners and the like, you might have a clue as to who they were and their criminal past. So you imagine you're on F wing at Forest Bank, yeah? You're on a prison sentence, but someone who likes children and who liked your daughter has ended up on your wing. You didn't know who they were at first, but over a couple of months it's become apparent. Now me, I don't think I'd be able to control myself. This lad had a self-control. Most of the wing who he trusted knew who this lad was. So what happened? I'm on dinner time patrol with my mate. Yeah, we've got response radios. That means if there's an incident, we respond. There's a bell on F wing. It's my wing, we attend. There's a lad at the top of the landing on the left hand side. Whether he's been dragged out of the cell or he's dragged himself out of the cell, I don't know. But there's a pool of claret forming around his skull. Protocols have gone out the windows. All outstations, staff from everywhere to lock the prisoners up. There's a lad I knew quite well, a young offender. I said, what's happened? He told me. He said S. He called me S. I didn't mind that. Some of them, when there were no other officers there, had called me Sammy, Sambo, Sam, Mr. S. I didn't mind. S is a nonce. Acronym. Not of normal criminal element, Scotland Yard. Not on normal court exercise, prison, and probably one or two others. It's an acronym for them that like children. I'm in the ambulance with a chaplain. Closet chain, it's just a ratchet cuff with a long chain on him. The chaplain were there because he weren't expected to live. That was the nature of the injuries. Wounds on his head, like I've never seen. Maybe the legendary tin of tuna in a sock had been wrapped around his napper. We'd later find out on camera, half the wing visited that cell and administered street justice. On the way to hospital, he gave the death cough. He was on his back, a fountain of blood splattered me and the chaplain. She was a lovely lass. Never seen anything like it, bless her. Was in shock. We got into the A&E emergency room. I was told to take the cuff off the prisoner. There was only me there. I had no paperwork, no support. I declined. I told the doctor he was in my custody and in a polite way, while ever he was alive and breathing, he would be cuffed to me. I received some abuse. I later received an apology. The chaplain stood in my corner. So he ended up on a bed watch. They saved his life. He was moithersome, continually asking the nursing staff for sandwiches and cups of tea. After the third shout, me, now realising just exactly what he was, said to the nurse, "Can I have a word?" She says, "Of course," very abruptly. I took her to one side. I said, "He's not a nice person, this guy. He's had a sandwich. I appreciate you doing that for him. There's no need to continue the waitress service." She looked at me. She knew what I meant. She was rather more abrupt with him after that. Yeah? Not a nice person. Me, street justice. Now, there was officers who would tell prisoners about people who liked children, and you'll think I would too. There can be serious consequences to that. They really can. And also, there was a lad, an older guy, in for a nothing offence, who was very clever, intellectually clever, who put a prisoner, a gobshite, a bit of a bully, in his place on the wing. Not with his fists, with his tongue. Put him right in his place. The other prisoners were laughing at said bully. The officer who got on with the bully, he used to do some work for him, you know, sorting people out and that. Again, I was never part of that and wouldn't want to be. It's just wrong. But the officer told him, the lad, the older lad who was clever, liked children. He ended up in a coma, that lad, in hospital. He ended up getting released from custody. He never come round, as far as I know. That's just wrong. That officer was weak. Come on, Brian. You come across officers like that, no morals, no integrity, and an innocent man, family and friends, ends up on life support in a coma in hospital. Dangerous game. Just going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for your continued support. We've got a budget coming. It's going to hit us all. Financially, people are going to be on their arse. They're hitting people who are on benefits now. Some people abuse the system. Some people deserve and need benefits. We're also now looking for more hotels to put people in. This party has no intention, this government now, of stopping anyone coming here. They're going to flood the country. There's misogyny laws they're on about bringing in. They're not protecting lasses and women, are they? They're for other people in society. However, the people are allowing in on the whole are not for women's rights. Irony. Brian, as always. Brian, what's this? Good boy. Sit down. Sit. Sit. God bless you all. Thanks for your continued support. Thanks for coming. I'll sit there.